Video Vision is made possible by a grant from the International Communications Institute, providing course instruction in television, video, and allied fields. Ah, the night is young and so are those kids. Good evening, I'm Michael Schnitzer. Welcome to another edition of Video Vision, bringing you once again a nocturne of video vespers. Their youth notwithstanding, the DeBarge siblings have been harmonizing for years. They've been at it since they were toddlers, and word has it they could sing before they could talk. Following a string of recent recording successes, they've now cut their teeth on video with a sweet rhythmic melody of Rhythm of the Night from the new motion picture Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon. And with their fresh photogenic looks and vivacious movements, they're proving as natural on screen as they are on record. We'll rejoin them in a moment, right after this brief overture, to tell you what other elements flow with the rhythm of this night on Video Vision. Things that go bump in the night have long been a staple of anthology series on television, and with a revival of that form presently underway, we'll take a look at one of the newest entries, Ray Bradbury Theater, currently unspooling on HBO. Accompanying tour guide David Haydu, we'll sneak a peek at a brand new camera recorder from Sony, the tape format of which may surprise you. One hint, it isn't beta. Then a free spirit who herself leaves much to the imagination and has quite a vivid imagination of her own, Lisa Yap will unveil for us two interesting if dissimilar new video selections. One from the satirical Fire Sign Theater, the other that illustrates self-defense for women. And we'll keep the air of mystery alive on our program tonight by not revealing our closing number until it's time to play it, except to say that it's an extremely popular tune right now and part of a new home music video release as well. In the meantime, the nocturnal festivities continue as El DeBarge leads us all beneath the moonlit skies. The music's still playing to the rhythm of the night. If that celebration and the music and visuals that go with it have a slightly familiar ring to them, perhaps they recall Lionel Richie's All Night Long of a couple of years back. What's more, that song and Rhythm of the Night can probably both trace their roots to Dancing in the Streets, originally performed by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas a little over 20 years ago. And it's most likely no coincidence that all three of those songs have sprung from the Motown Records label. The concept of a joyous musical street party is obviously a favorite one of Motown topper Berry Gordy. Yes, that's right, as in Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon. The anthology series seems to be making a comeback on television. Once common in the 50s and early 60s, this form all but died out during the last 2 decades. To be sure, there were a few minor entries, such as Tales of the Unexpected, and low-grade variations like Love Boat and Fantasy Island, but none could compare to the genuine anthology dramas of television's early years. 2 of those series, Alfred Hitchcock Presents and Rod Serling's Twilight Zone, are being resurrected for the start of next fall's TV season, obviously trading off legends who are, regrettably, no longer with us. And a 3rd anthology offering will be made under the guidance of a still very much living legend in the name of Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories. Pay TV's involvement in the anthology revival actually predates that of the networks, with HBO last year vowing an occasional series called The Hitchhiker, a show that managed to capture at least a piece of the master's name in its title, if not the richness of his work, with some nudity thrown in for wanton titillation. And while The Hitchhiker labors to emulate the suspense and twist endings of the old Hitchcock series, a newer offering on HBO shows far more promise as Pay TV's answer to The Twilight Zone. Ray Bradbury Theater is the umbrella title of a 3-part anthology of tales adapted by the author from his own short stories. The first installment is a delightful yarn entitled Marionettes, Inc. that stars James Coco as a henpecked husband gnashing his teeth over his breakfast, his wife's chatter, and the monotony of his wretched life.
If you can't see anything wrong with charging an extra 20 cents a dozen for large eggs, well, then he could just find himself another customer. And you know what? He lowered the price just like that. Don't forget to eat your prunes, all right? Oh, you're out of coffee. I'll get you some more. It's all right. I hope you like it. It's one of those new gourmet decaf blends. You know you have trouble sleeping at night, so you tell me if it's too strong, okay? Now, oh, here's your bacon. There we go. You haven't touched your egg. Is it too runny? Oh, you hate runny eggs. I forgot that. It's okay. Don't worry. I can cook it over again. It'll only take a second. I'll just rinse out the pan. Oh, the weatherman said it was going to rain today, and I see clouds in the sky. So you better take your raincoat just in case. And I put your umbrella in the car last night so you wouldn't forget it. Mwah. Now, you have been sneezing an awful lot lately. I hope you're not coming down with anything. There is that new bug going around, so you keep yourself bundled up, okay? And don't eat any spicy foods at lunch because you know they do give you heartburn.
Seems like a pretty hopeless situation, until, that is, Coco, as computer salesman John Brayling, crosses paths with a strange organization called Marionettes, Inc. that would appear to offer a solution to the rut in which he finds himself. Of course, it really doesn't, and like most of the Twilight Zone episodes, at the heart of the story's irony lies a deeper message. As with most science fiction tales, this one requires some suspension of belief. After all, if the computer salesman was so unhappy with his wife, why couldn't he simply divorce her? Because then there would be no story to tell, nor point to make, both of which are done here effectively. Enhancing the fantasy are Coco's expert comic instincts and Leslie Nielsen's suave villainy as the deliciously diabolical proprietor of Marionettes, Inc. Bradbury himself hosts the series, and while he seems unlikely to develop into a cult figure along the lines of a Serling or a Hitchcock, the series showcasing his work, at least judging from the initial outing, would appear a worthy successor to the classic productions of those acknowledged masters of the form. A few weeks ago, Videovision presented a three-part series on the state-of-the-art in home video photography, the all-in-one video camcorder. We divided it into 3 parts to provide a thorough review of each of the 3 separate and incompatible tape formats now used in camcorders: Beta, VHS, and 8mm. For our demonstration of the Beta system, the model we showed you was made by Sony, which invented that format. But now Sony is making a break with its own tradition and embracing one of the other 2 technologies. David Haydu is here tonight to tell us which one and show us the first unit made by Sony in the new configuration.
We've never met before, right? But I can tell if you are really a true video enthusiast. It's easy. If you're watching me right now, you're not a genuine video insider. If you were, you'd be out of town now in Chicago from June 1st through the 5th for the biggest event in the video industry, the Consumer Electronics Show. Now for some more magic. By way of the wonder of videotape and some connections of ours in the industry, we can mystifyingly transform you into a video insider. We're going to do it by giving you an on-the-scene preview of this whole big electronics shebang, the Consumer Electronics Show, without going on the scene. So let's go there right now. Actually, we'll pretend. I see Lisa Yap has her coat and mittens on already. But anyway, here we are. We're at the show. There are more than 100,000 people here to see the latest in electronic wonders, gadgets, and occasional garbage. I talked to Jack Wayman, the head of the huge organization which throws this astronomical electronics shindig, this morning, and he told me that the biggest news at the show is digital TV and a huge surprise from Sony that has everybody talking. And we happen to have a body here with us today to talk about it. It belongs to Jeff Manel, the contributing editor to Video Review and author of the Club Mad Companion, which has nothing whatsoever to do with video. And more important than Jeff, that is, we also have the first 8mm camcorder from Sony. Now, I'd like to explain a little bit what this thing is before we go into the demonstration. It's a camcorder, meaning it's a combination camera and recorder. It does everything that a conventional camera would do. You'd have to hook up to a portable VCR. It's in a new format. Jeff, you have the cassette there?
Yes, I do. Easy to load.
Yeah, let me see that thing. This is about the size of a pack of cigarettes or
a cassette.
Audio cassette, huh?
Yep.
Well, why don't you go through the motions and show us how to use it?
Okay, having just learned this minutes before.
The reason we got Jeff on here, by the way, is that you happen to be an avid movie maker, right?
That's right. I film avids, right?
And you went to film school? You studied movie making?
NYU Film School, right?
Well, despite that, I imagine you know something or other.
I learned something in the few short years, yes.
And he's the host of a cult underground game show. Well, let's see how it works.
It's a home wrecking game, but okay. This is, as far as I can tell, pretty simple. Over on this side, we have the white balance for indoor and outdoor. You can put the power on simply by that, or off. It's very simply the viewer finder right through here, and you can also play back with the record review to see what you shot the last 3 seconds.
Very simple, very features. Nothing too esoteric or complicated. The average person can use that. I imagine that's your intention.
I'm below average, and I can handle it. Yes. And here is actually a VCR playback, which is so small, but yeah, you do playback, rewind, play.
Well, the nice thing that I mentioned earlier about this design, I noticed earlier about this design, is that it looks very much like a portable VCR. This thing comes off, and some of these other things hooked onto around the machine come off. It looks very much like a conventional portable. You put it up here, and it's a camera. Well, should we demonstrate it? You want to make a tape?
Why not?
All right, well, why don't you shoot me, because I'm the only person here.
I'll tape you.
I'll move over here.
Okay, we got the telephoto. Okay,
right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. While you're taping, I'd like to make a comment that there are a great number of people in the industry who have a suspicion that 8mm will be the format of the future, that it will take over VHS and Beta. Whether, of course, that becomes true is up to the consumer to decide. My personal opinion is available for unmarked bills sent to Videovision. Just a joke.
Okay, Soupy.
Okay?
Okay, we're taping right now.
Well, let's replay it and see how it looks.
Okay.
You're going to see the images that Jeff just shot. You can see from the background behind my head that we're taping our town tomorrow, and this is the set. It's a nice quality picture. As a matter of fact, I've been privy to some confidential test reports that were just released today in-house at a given publication. The test reports by a major independent studio showed that those images that we just saw are indeed, in fact, as good as conventional Beta and VHS, which may set the stage for 8mm to become the Beta and VHS of tomorrow, if not much, much bigger. Jeff, what did you think of the images?
I thought it was very clear.
No, I don't mean the character, the quality.
The image.
Forget it.
Scotty,
if you're
quick.
An American home video fan, 8mm may indeed become a viable alternative as a home camera for you. If you're an Italian movie fan, I would wait for 8.5mm. Michael?
If the 8mm format eventually catches on, it will obviously necessitate the manufacture of pre-recorded software in that configuration, adding more choice, but also more clutter and confusion to an already crowded video marketplace. One of the virtues of original programming made for home video is that it's supposed to provide a diverse selection catering to a wide spectrum of consumer tastes and needs. Tonight, Lisa Yap reviews two recent releases that exemplify that diversity.
Oh, well, thanks, Michael. Well, at the risk of losing friends, let me just say that I have never really liked the Firesign Theater. Maybe the mere mention of their name is enough to elicit smiles from their millions of fans who appreciate their pedantic, overbearing, unique sense of comedy. But for me, Lisa Yap, many a pleasant evening was ruined, having to stop talking to listen to their latest release. Somehow I thought it would all be different on video. I mean, that I'd finally appreciate the Firesign Theater with the perspective that only 525 lines can deliver. But the Firesign Theater home video debut, Hot Shorts, on RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video, is nothing more than just their latest offering. For Hot Shots, the Firesign Theater has taken 9 Saturday matinee cliffhanger serials from the 40s, stripped off the soundtrack, and added voices with a new storyline. Each segment is more outlandish and pointlessly ridiculous than the one before. But hey, I'm prejudiced. I'll let you be the judge. But the title, Firesign Theater, Hot Shorts, 9 Doomed Hits, says it all for me.
Excuse me, hey, miss, but is it legal to smoke my pipe in here?
We're a drug state, Mr. Bennett. Controlled substances is okay.
And the Bureau says we is the smoking race. We puff, puff, right in the Bureau's face. Puff and smoke with the Bureau. It's the greatest race. Oh, we puff, puff. Have you got any hash?
Some hash? For sure.
I mean, wouldn't it have been greater and cheaper, too? I mean, just to release the original serials? I mean, think about it. Commander Cody and the Rocket Man, and the original dialogue between the Black Widow and the Spy Smasher. Hot Shorts runs 1¼ hours. Personally, I like my overkill in smaller doses. Now for the good news. The Woman's How-To of Self-Defense. It offers easy-to-remember, easy-to-execute practical hints for women to defend themselves without having to move into a dojo to become not only beautiful, but deadly. This tape is a must-see for all women. In fact, I feel it should be shown in the schools. Or better yet, why isn't self-defense taught in school? I mean, this new age demands a new approach to phys ed. I ask you, what are you more apt to use upon graduation? Field hockey or a quick left hook? Sometimes knowing where to hit is, well, half the battle.
Here, the way to relieve the pressure is to pull your chin down and in, flexing the neck muscles like this, and then explode his arms away and follow up, maybe with a headbutt to the stomach. Pull him off his feet. Grab the legs as low as possible for the best leverage.
The only criticism I have with a woman's how-to self-defense is that sometimes the need for women to defend themselves physically, as presented here, borders on the paranoid. Now picture yourself in this poor guy's position after driving his date home from dinner and a show.
You said you'd take me home.
I will. In a minute.
What are you doing? Get away.
Quick and very effective.
I mean, try talking first, dear. Well, so much for self-defense for women. Now, Michael, if we could just find some defense against you.
Well, she for one shouldn't worry. There's no one I know as defensive as Lisa. And it's time once again for our viewer participation segment. For those of you who've seen the show before, you're aware of this. If there's any kind of a video production that you've been in any way connected with and would like to have us excerpt a clip from it to show here on Video Vision, why don't you get in touch with me and I'll tell you just a moment how you can do that. Or if there's any kind of a video cassette or video disc program or any type of a cable service that you'd like to see us excerpt a clip from to show on Video Vision, let me know about that. Finally, if there's any question you have about video in general, or in particular any of the video you saw on tonight's Video Vision, write or call me, and the address and telephone number at which you can do that are, Mr. Director, there we go, Michael Schnitzer, Video Vision, care of Metro Access Studios, 110 East 23rd Street, 3rd floor, New York, New York 110, or, if you prefer, you can call me at the number you see on your screen. Leave a message for me, Michael Schnitzer, at the number you see on your screen. Leave a time when you'd like me to return your call, and at that time that you leave, that's when I'll return the call. Well, I know at least one person surprised to see this segment on Video Vision. The truth is that when the English pop group Wham scored their first major audio-video hit with Wake Me Up Before You Go-Go, I just wasn't too sure about these guys. I know it was a big smash and all, but I'm afraid just too cloying for my cynical palate. Their next single, Careless Whisper, was a definite improvement, but still not exactly my cup of tea. However, I'm forced to concede, no matter how grudgingly I do so, that their latest release, Everything She Wants, has won me over with a riveting song and an artistically made video with which we're going to conclude our show tonight. And if you'd like to review the full range of Wham's video output, including several of their earlier works made before their recent string of successes, you might be interested in obtaining a copy of Wham the Video, a collection containing 7 of their clips, our closing number tonight among them, available in hi-fi stereo from CBS Fox. Right now it's time once again for us to take our leave from the air, the better to serve you with another edition of Video Vision, which you can see next week at the same time. Before we go, we offer this musical blandishment, striving to deliver everything she wants, the music, the video, and the lyrics, those haunting lyrics, which hit so unnervingly close to home. And so it goes. I'm Michael Schnitzer. Thanks for looking in, and good night. Video Vision is made possible by a grant from the International Communications Institute, providing course instruction in television, video, and allied fields.